Did you come to say hi, Violet? You woke up?
Hi, sleepy face.
Oh, you want to come up here?
Mm.
Okay. Well, Violet, what's going on? How are you feeling?
Um, very liminal.
Yeah, me too.
In between all of the things. And just like soaking in all of the lessons, like in just maybe like 2 week period. Um, I really don't even know where to start or where I want to go.
It's okay.
There's there's many pathways at the moment.
Yeah, which is the liminal, huh?
Yeah. I know I only have I have a few days left here in New Zealand. Oh, and last night before I was going to bed, I've been thinking about endings a lot. And since being here, I've had many, many of deaths. And almost like how to make peace with that part of life, like endings. And that it is okay and it is important for my body to like go through that process of completion. Remember like the end of our mentorship container? And I was like, I would like a closing ceremony. And it's just this like, and right now I'm thinking of like funerals as well, this like ending completion ceremony. Not to say, you know, just a completion of this time. And um I was thinking about like, yeah, how this trip is ending soon and how I feel like the completion of this part of the journey feels like it'll be after the Valkyries retreat. And I was like, it's really cool that because when we completed Soul Bones, it was I saw you, and then it was like the start of this new journey. I went to the farm after that. And then now I'll be returning back there to Colorado and ending this part of the journey. Oh, whoa.
Mm.
I got a little emotional there.
Mhm.
Um, and I spoke with you before about like I thought I was gonna stay, the whole thing. I thought I was gonna stay there afterwards, after Valkyrie's retreat. But I don't know. But that land now keeps calling me. Like I don't know. I keep meeting people from Colorado. When I was in Oregon, I met a couple from Colorado, and I told them about New Zealand, and you know, the husband was like, "When you're out here, come see us." And I'm just like super stoked that I'll be there in June. I don't know if I'll see them or not, but um I had a really good time with them when I was in Oregon, and it was that time I was feeling kind of like lonely and just like not connected. And I had this feeling like I'll meet some campers because he did like camping on his land too. And I met them. Like it was either that day or the next day that I said that. And they were from Colorado. And then the other day I was out to dinner with Karen and we were checking out and the the guy that was checking us out, I was like, "You don't have a Kiwi accent. Where are you from?" Colorado. And then me and Carrie looked at each other like, "We're gonna be there next month."
So cool.
um, so I don't know. I don't know. And just from like an astrological perspective, real quick, um, I've slightly looked into like my astrocartography. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
I
like,
I have looked it up. That's like the most
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And the way that like I play with astrology is like how you and I talk about um seeing the planets as like an energetic archetype.
Uh-huh.
So that's how I kind of understand it through my body is the energetics of the planet.
Yeah.
So so here in New Zealand was runs my for me my Uranus line. Ooh, bless you.
Thanks.
And I read up about just like all the uncertainty and the upheaval. And as soon as I got here and I didn't have I didn't get my luggage. My luggage didn't get here with me. I was like, okay, this is how it's going. Got it. That's I think that's why I was able to laugh so much because I was just like, this is how it starts. Okay, cool. Um, and you know, you've been with me through everything that has happened here. And and for me, Colorado is my Jupiter line runs through there. So just like expansion and I don't know what else, luck, abundance. And I just feel like that's calling me next, but I'm still in this space of like my my ex-lover resides there, right?
Mm.
And I have to figure out whether or not I want to be there because he's there or it's because I want to be there. And that's been the tricky part for me. Even with farming stuff, um, I had to see if is this what I wanted or was this because it was not necessarily something that he wanted, but I was interwoven in that
Yeah.
piece. And I can feel myself like justifying things. Like, no, but I wanted this a long time ago. And then this happened. Da, 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 da. Like, I just want to see. I'm going to go inside.
Okay.
Woman that I'm with. she was telling me that the neighbors mow their lawn every day and it drives her crazy. And yesterday we were out there. I was like, oh, I don't mind, because she kept apologizing for it. I was like, oh, it's fine. And then she sat down on the bench with me to have a conversation. And then she's like, because I'm sitting here with you and the sound doesn't bother you, I feel at ease with the sound, and it usually agitates me. And oh, come on, let me go to the phone. Um, and that's that. I got to learn what we mean when we say, when you're regulated, it sets the space for others around you. And oh, okay. Remember when
The word that I
remember,
just wrote down is co-regulation.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right on it. Yeah.
Um, and remember when I was like, that conversation that we had where I was like, I don't know if I can take on the wave that I feel from a client. If like I have a client who has, um, and I feel like I've been initiated in that when I came here. I was kind of creeped out. Like, I got here at night and her and I just had this like back and forth that didn't feel quite right for me
Mm-hmm.
over like messaging. And I was just like so unsure, and I didn't know if like it was fear or what the heck it was. Like if it was, oh, don't go there, or I was just like afraid.
Yeah.
And then our last conversation was like, she said to me, she was like, I've never had a volunteer ask this many questions. Like, I'm starting to feel like this isn't a good idea. And this was right before I was going to come here, and I had planned everything to come here, but my plan B was like, okay, I'll just get an Airbnb. And then I said to her, I was like, well, I just want to make sure that everyone's on the same page and that I'm covering my bases. And I was like, if this doesn't feel right for you, then that's okay. Thank you for your time. And then she like messaged me with this whole thing that for me, I decided, okay, I will come. But she was like, said something along the lines of just like needing to trust and not have any expectations. And like, I was like, and then for a minute, well, for a moment when I first read that, I was like, ugh, fuck you, right? But then I sat back with it and I was like, maybe this is a reminder. So I was just like, thank you for the reminder. I'll see you when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting here was a journey. And when I finally got here, it was nighttime. And then I saw her and I just got like, this is my probably like a prejudice, but I had like this creepy old lady vibe, and the house was creepy. And like, I was just like, fuck. And I slept with the lights on that night because my brother and I, like, before I got here, we were talking about misery. And like, I just saw the whole, like, this house had that vibe for me. And it was like a horror film. All these like horror movies of old ladies and like creepy houses. And so I slept with the light on and I was still really unsure. But before I went to bed, her and I were talking. And I just have this feeling like that's when I got here was like that wave and like up to my throat. And I was like, ugh, fuck, I'm scared and I don't know what this is. And I could feel the spirits here on this land. Like since every place I've gone, there's been lots of spirits. I mean, this land is, but here I was like, I don't know if they're good, if they're bad, what's happening, whatever. And I was having a conversation with her, and there was a moment where I could feel her soften, and the light in the room got brighter. And I was like, okay, I think it's her. I think she's feeling a little down, and I don't know what it is, but someone had just left before I got here, and I could feel like the loneliness in this house. And so yesterday in the morning, like I got myself up and I feel like, you know, in Harry Potter, when they're just like they just started magic school, right? But then they go on this adventure and they have to use everything they learn and just like trust that they're powerful enough.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm having to use all the tools that I learned now. Like oh, this is uh, my Harry Potter adventure. So, anyways, I was just like doing all these protection wards and like calling in all my guides, which I don't usually do. I don't usually do this. Um, and I did this protection ward, like I drew it with my hair, aka like whipping my hair all over the place.
Mm.
And I told this, like, the spirits of this land, like, I respect you and I honor your space, but also respect and honor mine. And I was like, if I meant to be here to clear this space and infuse whatever energies need to be infused, like I'm here, and just like taking my power back, because I still feel that like a little bit, I was still feeling scared and nervous. Um, and I hung out and spoke with her a lot yesterday, and she was just like, it's such a joy. I could, I, I could feel her softening. It's such a joy watching you clean so thoroughly. That's what she told me. And then she was like, I'm so happy every time that I get to sit down and speak with you. It makes me so happy. And I'm just sitting with her. And then yesterday, our conversation, she was like, you listen so well. And this was a fear of mine, that I'm not a good listener.
Mm.
And it was all those things that I told you I was afraid of when I spoke about taking on a client was my day yesterday, like in
Mm.
full experience, in full embodied experience. So yeah, and the reason why I was drawn to this place was because she has this sound room and all the instruments possible.
Whoa.
And she said, you can play in there whenever you want. And she was like, I don't trust anyone to, but I trust you to play the gong. You can play the gong. And that's why I came here.
Wild.
It's gong. Yeah. And she's doing like a sound journey on Friday. And she had planned it because I was coming and the new moon. And so there will be some people here and yeah, we're doing some sound on Friday. And I'm just like tending to the land and getting it prepped, and that's really enjoyable for me. And she invited me today with her I think one of her friends is like an energy worker who works with people who just, she's working with someone who's um, basically is dying, and she's easing that process, that transition.
She's a
And she invite,
doula.
yeah, I'm not sure if she's a doula, but she is doulaing
Yeah.
this process for yeah. Now my ears are going crazy. But yeah, so I'm just really in it.
Yeah, I feel that. This is so interesting. Like I can feel this woman
Yeah,
from here.
yeah,
And I was surprised to hear that she has a sound room, and also that she's one of us. Like she sounds like she's not one of us. You know what she sounds like is like the person, the muggle, the person who thinks that they're a muggle, but they're actually really magical.
yeah,
Ooh, also from not from Harry Potter, but from Fantastic Beasts, the big black cloud. It's like when
yeah,
magic gets suppressed.
yeah. That's what, yeah,
Whoa.
that.
Yeah.
And it also reminds me of, remember when I asked you, like, how do you, when you talk to those parts of me that are the dark clouds,
Yeah.
like that dark cloud, but you open them up to like softening. Do you remember? Like I was
Mhm.
like, I'm scared of that.
Like you don't trust yourself to do it.
Hello.
Hey.
And once again, like that fear, I'm experiencing it.
Yeah.
Like I'm in it. I'm in the fear.
Yeah.
In all those fears that I was like, Carly, yeah, I'm scared of this. I'm scared of this with the client. I'm scared of this with the client. And they're like, I still feel scared. But also, like this feeling in my throat, I just keep toning as I walk through this house. And I feel, and that part too, where I was like, where I said to you, like, I'm self-conscious of like making sound when there's other people around, but I'm actually just doing it here.
Like you have to. You have to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. Is our life.
Yeah. The initiations. Yeah. The it's like the expansion in action, like everything that we work towards to embody. And then there comes a point where it's like, okay, it's here. What are you gonna do? We're like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is your fear now? The one that's still here?
I'm not sure. The feeling of it is like when I was little and I would watch these really scary movies and just like feeling like this might be, yeah, just feeling like there's ghosts all around me or like something's gonna pop up out at me. It's like that similar feeling that I have where I'm afraid to like take a shower or sleep in the dark.
Yeah.
Where it's like as when the sun's going down, it starts to feel scary. And like I can feel it it's in my back body. Um, just like yeah, like want to become a ball. And I'm frozen. But this feels like my little one because it's like all the all the scary movies that my mind is running through. And there's this like unsafe feeling because it's just like really cold in here. And I can feel like this is me needing to activate like the warmth from within me and to just be that and not close away and just like be afraid.
Yeah. Are there are there places in the house or on the land that feel more like the fear is more activated than others? Like rooms or corners or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like probably like the coziest that I feel is in the sound room and my bedroom. And then yeah, when I get into the hallway and like yeah, there are corners and spaces. And then outside, even outside too. Yeah. And this room I haven't been in before, so yeah. I wanted to do the call in the sound room, but she um didn't want that, so I was like, yeah, totally understand. Yeah, I have to like sound here because it's getting it's getting wavy.
yeah, yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it in my body. It's really interesting. It doesn't feel it doesn't feel like I know the little one in the scary stories and like that's the trigger that gets activated, but it feels like there's a density that's there.
Yeah.
Like I can feel the realness of it, and not just like, oh, Violet's running a fear energetic, let's look at it. Like I know that there's something. It's not you, it's like what you're in.
Yeah.
You want any help with it?
And oh my gosh, now, sorry. Uh, yeah, I gotta get up. I was wondering if, because she holds ceremonies here, you know?
Yeah.
But as we're talking, because I was wondering this yesterday, like, um, if she clears a space after, which I don't think she does. And as we're talking, it feels like I'm holding on onto all of these like precious things. And just like dragon egging all of these moments, and it's causing like a storm. There's this storm. But also with speaking with her, she understands like and is trying to just allow things to be of its time and allowing it, you know, like release it, not being attached. But there's this dragon egg thing. Dragon egg.
Mm. The collected, like the leftover energetics, was my intuitive hit as well.
Yeah.
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 There's a sequence that we run every Sunday at the Star House to do exactly that, to like move
Yeah.
the energies, and to get them like back in flow.
Mm-hmm.
I can give that to you if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's really simple. Do you want me to just tell you now, and then I can like drop it in a voice note later too?
Yeah.
So I think probably what makes the most sense is in a room that feels safest.
Yeah.
You're gonna walk the room, you're gonna move through the whole room and then extend the energies out through the house and onto the land. So you'll walk in the clockwise direction. This is the feminine spiral, and sound while you walk. And you'll feel when the energies start to follow you. You'll just know.
Yeah.
And you can stop and feel them. You can feel that around your heart too. And then reverse directions and walk in the vortex. You're creating vortex. The opposite direction is the masculine, the father vortex. So then you're running two different directional energies.
Yeah.
And then hold that. And then you'll run the toroids. Do you know the shape of the toroid? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So run it.
How do I run that?
You can
like in the center of the room.
Yeah, center of the room, and like you can use your arms and like really step into it. So like go out and over and run the whole thing like through and into the center of the room, and like move around in a circle, and then switch directions.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Super simple.
Cool.
Just get them moving. What I really love about these movements too, the mother vortex, the father vortex, and then both directions of the toroids, is that there's no like, we're just moving energy. there's no like human consciousness, this is bad, this is good. Like I'm a human who thinks that this needs to change something different. It's like just the movement energy.
Yeah.
That's really cool because we can bring that, like we can send when we close out, I can send this your way too. Like I'll do it over here and send it to you. But we can do it for like places that are experiencing just like horrible political grief and like genocide and you know, and like it's not the humans coming in and being like, I know what's best for everybody, I'm gonna like bring magic and love here, because like sometimes the highest good is really ugly, you know, we don't know anything, but we can bring these movements to places that just moves the energy and like lets things move as they need to.
Yeah. Dude, when you were saying that, I thought of like doing, because we're Valkyries, right? So if we do that together in a circle and send it. That's cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually empower the whole thing, like as you're running it you can empower it with the same energetics of the star house, because like the star house has been running these energy patterns for like every Sunday for years and years now, so like the space knows the patterns, so you can actually like tap into the star house and like use the power where you are.
Do I have permission to do that?
Oh yeah, that's what it's for. Yeah.
Cool.
For sure.
My part of my morning here has been, I've been doing toroid.
The hardest word ever.
Yeah. And just like, yeah, I mean, movement instead of envisioning, because yeah, and I actually thought about you. Thanks for sending me that.
Yeah. I think it's really helpful in moving big energetics like this to do it through movement first, because then you can feel it, and then your visual can take over.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Totally.
the what's that called? The lawnmower pull, like the ignition pull, and then everything gets to move.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I also feel that like that invitation to light up from the inside out, like to be the warmth, to be the glow, and how beautiful that is for this space and this woman and yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And continue setting boundaries with the spirits around you. This is what I'm here for. This is not what I'm here for. Hard nose.
Mhm. Yeah. It's cold in here.
Well, how are you feeling about
physical transitioning?
I think there's some weepy hearts in there. It hasn't hit me yet. But I'm also very happy to be coming back. Like, I do feel completion. I do feel very complete and just, soaking in these last few days. And I'm very excited about being on an airplane for 9 hours because I'm sure all of this will digest up there.
Uh-huh.
Well, 9 and then 5, but I'll have a lot of digesting time, which I'm excited about. And there is also nervousness because there's this thing going on in my head that I'm gonna have to get a job at Sprouts. And there's parts where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to get a job at Sprouts. And then this other part that's like, I don't want to work at Sprouts. And I don't know.
Where's the Sprouts line coming from?
I don't know. It was because I was thinking of not all my possible options, but like options. And
Yeah.
I don't know why Sprouts is a thing. Well, there's one by my house, firstly, and like thinking about the areas around like restaurants and places. And I don't know why I landed on Sprouts. It just felt the most
Yeah.
true, I guess. Like the best option that my brain can think of, like as a muggle job, is Sprouts. It's so basic.
As far as grocery stores go, it's the best one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good job, brain.
I was like, you know what? I don't know. This was like a day a while ago where I was like, if I have to work at Sprouts, I'm gonna ask for a ridiculous like amount to be paid, and they're either gonna pay me or they're not gonna hire me. That's it. And I won't work there. If they hire me, then I get that amount. If they don't, then I don't work there. It's great. That was my idea, my brain's idea, but I don't want to do that. um, and like I've been asking my cards about it, and there's this like abundance that I'm going to receive, and I'm just like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know because that, but then at the same time, I'm trying. I'm just not really like. First of all, it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything about it, and secondly, I'm also like, what can I do while I'm here? Like, do I? And this is the piece about momentum that when you brought in, I was like, yeah, I need this because I mean, I don't need to go into the because I feel like I need this because I'm like, I see myself like driving a stick and it's like, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
because
What?
it's just like, am I using my current experience as an excuse of my momentum not happening?
Does that feel true?
Or no, it doesn't. It doesn't feel true. And I think that's the battle that I'm having within my body. Because I feel like when I land home, we will know. By we, I mean all my parts.
Yeah.
That are like, you should be doing something. You're not doing anything to get your abundance. How are you making money if you're not doing anything about it?
And we just did the parts module in Valkyries 3. And
Yeah.
I haven't brought it like I did today. Like I feel like before we've kind of just like woven parts in, and like when we get to it, we get to it. And before I started this round of Valkyries, I was like, this is like foundational in my work. Like this needs to be a whole thing. So we did this like extra funny for the part. So we did like shapes of energies, like the somatic shape that energetics take, and then parts. So I just left them with like the character play. Like, I don't know, how they find them.
Yeah. It's so fun. So fun. Did you like is that their like play work?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also just like 4 minutes before the call, like right up to the like, okay, we got to get on the call. I was like, oh my God, we have major characters and we have minor characters. So there's like, I don't know, like 5 to 7 like main characters, and then just like a whole bunch of like infinite other ones. That's
Yeah.
a funny visual.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. I'm, I'm seeing all of them.
Tell me about this abundance.
That's fun. Abundance.
Yeah. What do you feel? I'm gonna grab my cards. You keep getting that you're gonna get like there's gonna be an abundance coming to you.
Yeah.
What do you get?
Like
What's your gnosis?
I get like a magical inheritance.
Hell yeah. I'm so here for that.
That in this last week I've been dreaming up if Colorado is true for me after this, and feeling emotional. Um, I don't know. that just happens. Um, there's two streams that have been running through. I don't know if this is along the lines of abundance, but it's more of like where I'll be after this. And I'm not sure, but okay, so my abundance, I'm just gonna go with that for right now, is the magical inheritance. And the when I land at home, I'm just gonna have a bunch of workshops and events on deck, and do those. Like that is my life now. This is my life now.
Yeah.
And yeah, those are the two streams that I feel. And then
Workshops and events are the streams.
yeah, and abundance is also like, where do I get to like make my home? Because this is, I think, my deepest desire is like creating and having my own space. And yeah, where is that? How? That's not abundance.
It is, in a way.
Yeah. And also getting to like work with my people. Like this is what I want.
Yep.
Like, but in it, because I've been so scared in like, I'm emotional here too, wanting to work with people. Like, this is what I want to do. And I get to do that. I just have a story for this part because so when Karen was dropping me off at the airport, she was gonna like, I thought she was just gonna drop me off, right? And she was gonna park her car and like do the proper send off. And I was like, no, 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 you can just drop me off. It's easier. But then I realized like, oh, I wanted her to do that, but I've just been like, when people drop me off at the airport, they just drop me off and I say bye and da 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 da. And then I didn't know that I wanted that until it was an option, and that felt more full and loving to me. And I was like, oh, I get to like want the person, I get to want to work with people, and I get to want to do that. And that gets to happen. Like I don't have to, because usually I'm just like, oh, I'll do it. It's fine. I don't want to inconvenience you, and I'll figure it out by myself. But I don't want that.
Yeah.
Anymore. That was just like a safety thing of like, oh, barrier so I don't get rejected. So no one has to say no to me. No one has the opportunity to say no to me. I'll just do it on my own.
Huh?
Like controlling the whole, try to control. That's been a huge lesson for me here as well. Like allowing others the opportunity to say yes and or no.
Yeah.
But I can still want that and ask. Just fucking ask. But I think that's where I get to know if I do it on my own, which I can do, or I get to do it with others, which I can and want to do as well. But if I got to do it on my own, I can and want to do that as well. Actually.
Yeah.
So long story short, working with others. Because I feel like, damn, when I think about, I've been getting so moved and emotional about all the people that I've in relationship with, because I feel really abundant there.
You can have all these things.
What they keep telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What holds you back from this life?
Not sure. I don't really feel like I'm holding myself back. I don't really feel like that, actually. I I don't think I feel like that.
Great. Awesome.
I feel like I'm living it. I feel like I'm just in it with every moment. And I guess there's just this fear of my pace, but I realize that something that feels luxurious to me is like not being rushed. And I've been appreciating so much, like retrospecting and introspecting about the relationships that I am in, because I don't feel rushed in them, and that feels very luxuriating for me as well. And I guess yeah, it's just, I think this desire of really wanting to have my own space is kind of getting in the way of like, how do I do that? Like, how, being able to support myself financial wise is rushing me, I think.
Okay, I just pulled a whole bunch of cards over here. as you were talking. I'm gonna make tiny notes so I can sync them to things. This is like the coolest card pull too. Okay, so from the top, shall we?
Yeah.
And actually, before we start, I feel called to just like reflect or remind that so much of feels like our work together in WomanKING, but also yours on your own and your adventures, feel like they are setting the foundations of what's next for you in life, and like really learning your energy body, your momentum, momentum we get to keep learning because it builds. But like how you work and what you need to do to support yourself in the ebbs and flows of energy. And that, like, as you were saying that, like the luxury of not being rushed, like that is that, and you are learning that for yourself in an embodied way, which like that's awesome. That's it, if there is an it.
Yeah.
So here we go. So you started with this abundance, this like sense of abundance is coming. I don't think I pulled for the inheritance. Let me do that real quick. Or I'll do it when we're done. So 2 streams, workshops and events. And the cards that I pulled for those were the prayer and the queen, which is fucking beautiful. And then you said you like really like reverberated on like my abundance. And the card I pulled for that was the nectar. And then the one for home, like creating your own space, I pulled the ocean. I was like, okay, all right, ocean. Is that going to be, are you going to be a literal pull or a figurative or energetic ocean? And so I kept pulling for ocean. Like, can I get some clarity here? And all of the cards that I pulled, because I kept getting like kept pulling, like, what else? What else? What else? And it was all like the cave, the fault line, the box. That's just all like, you're not meant to know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Working with people, and this is what I want. This is what you said. This is what I want. I pull the Anima Mundi for that, and also the healer. They like came out at the same time. The luxury of not being rushed, of your own pacing, and I pulled Kairos. It's like an unbelievable pull. And how do I support myself? How do I support myself financially in that? And the card I pulled for that is the tear. So I'll take a picture of this and send it to you. Like, this is unbelievable. But I do want to know what comes up for this inheritance question. Have you talked to your uncle?
Not yet. I was actually going to message him this morning. I just feel like he will. And I'm just scared to ask. This is my practice right here. Also, the ocean, like my dream home is by the ocean. Like I, s- I I've been building it in my mind for at least a year now, I think. Yeah. But oh, I'm kind of feeling into those other cards now. It's like you get to try all these other places while you build this home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, how part of my dream is like traveling the world and just hopping in places. That's what that feels like for me.
Yeah, I feel that
It,
too.
it's cool because it's like I'm I'm gathering all the parts and pieces of my home as I stay in all these different homes.
Yeah, you are.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is like energetic refinement. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of wisdom and mastery in the not knowing part.
Yeah.
And that is the part of the gift of the liminal
Yeah.
and
And
chaos and destruction.
yeah. All of it. Anima Mundi. um yeah, that's gonna say. Yeah. Mhm.
I've learned a lot in the last just like year. I've learned a lot about the neutral like response from cards or from my guides, or just like even the like neutral somatic response when I'm like asking within question, and then I get like neutrality.
Yeah.
And the the parts of us, multiple parts that want to like know something or like grab at something. And I think also this is like some Instagram spiritual training accidentally, where we talk about like the full body fuck yes and the full body fuck no, but then like there's this space in between where there's like not a full yes or not a full no, or just like totally blank. It almost
Yeah.
feels like numb. But
Yeah.
that for me,
Totally.
it's become this like, it's either I'm not supposed to know yet, like there's a reason that I don't know yet. There's not a yes and there's not a no, there's just like no charge. Or it's not for me to know and someone else is supposed to know whatever it is that I'm asking.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. And this is where like no rush feels very luxurious to me, because of that space. And if I'm forcing anything, that's where I feel like in my body will slow down so much more than just the momentous like flow, however that looks like. Because what I see is like my claws will like cat claw in and just like drag if I'm trying to get it anywhere faster than it's supposed to be. And that's where I get what I was saying earlier, that start, stop feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it'll be like a complete stop. And I think that my body's like dying.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I've experienced it, I think. I'm like, nope, I can't do that. Can't. My body's telling me no. Which isn't true. It's just a reaction. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah. I feel this as also as energetic refinement. It sounds like some part of my brain up here is like, that's really obvious, Carly. Aw, obviously. And actually a really beautiful part of, like, I see overlap in learning your own energetic systems, and like finding iteration and generation in a week, and then like slowing down and taking care of yourself for a week, and then the next week like a little bit of like on off, which is so beautiful because that's how you're understanding yourself. And the refinement is like in the same, like, we're going too fast, claws on the ground, or like resistance to time. I'm trying to go too fast, but needing to go too slow, or needing to go slower. It feels like rather like what is becoming is it's not like on, off, stop, go. There's like other points. So instead of like the staccato, it gets to become like circular.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is momentum.
Hmm.
Because like the sharp edges of stop, go get softened.
Yeah.
And it's like slow, speed, slow, speed.
Yeah.
I don't know how that came out at all. I've never said that before.
Isn't that the most fun part sometimes? Like, I didn't know I was gonna say that, but I said it.
Especially on video, I'll say that, and then I like catch myself like, oh my God, I'm here. It's almost like when you like disembody and then you come back into your body and they're like, oh shit, like who saw that? Did anybody else catch that? I don't know what I said. You know, another analogy for what this feels like is, I know I brought this book up before, Do Less by Kate Northrup. She talks about how our linear minds and just like the structure of society are like, this is a day. The day starts and then it ends, and then it starts and then it ends. But when we put it on a wheel, the whole thing is just a cycle. There is no stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. just feels so much better, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and the piece that you brought in for WomanKING of like, let's track your cycle as femme body and see how creation works through that. I was like a fuck yes for that because I don't actually know, and we don't as femme bodies actually know. And even um the parts where like, oh, this part of the cycle you have more energy, but it's like, well, actually, how is it like in my body? Because that might not necessarily be true. Um, and it's so fucking fun. And also it feels so big and beyond me to learn how to operate my vessel in that way.
Yeah.
And it is going to take time because right now it's like a full body experiment. And that's where the like, I can't rush myself through this because it, I need to see the data like over a period of time. Like I have to go through a whole cycle and then maybe go through it again because I'm just starting this part. And then layered with like, oh, energetic body and even environmental cycles, like that plays a part in all of this experiencing because, you know, I realize like coming here, it's like I'm in the fucking southern hemisphere where it's fall and winter right now, and my body knows this time of year to be opposite of that. So it has to adjust and it has to transition. And Kaylee Brooks said, like, posted this one time, and it just like rocked my world because I think it was when she moved to Colorado and she's like asking the land to not forgive her, but like to give her time to acclimate with the flora and fauna. And I was like, holy fuck, yeah. And I don't know these plants and animals and land, and my body does it. And things are happening in it. And if I'm not aware, I'm just thinking that, oh, I'm tired or I'm sick or I don't feel well, but I'm readjusting
Yeah.
and that takes time. And so if I'm going to be traveling or if I'm going to be like hopping around from place to place, I have to not rush and honor my body in what it needs to do. And even, you know, I notice like what I eat or what I want to eat is different from place to place. And so my body's communicating something. And if I'm not listening to it, then we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be stop and go,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, just the, like, as simple as this sounds, just the listening and the communication and like the reciprocity of being in communication with your body. Like, body says something and you're like, cool, I got you. Body needs something. You're like, yep, great, I'll do that. Just that super simple now, communication feels like so much less stop go. That feels like feminine momentum,
Mm-hmm.
body soma led, intuition led,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. Momentum.
I love how we talk about things. Like, we don't talk about momentum. Like, okay, this is how we, like my brain, like, it's the email girl. Like, okay, we're gonna talk about momentum. How do I do that? But we're talking about we talked about momentum this whole time without ever saying the word momentum,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this is actually how I speak and how I communicate and how I conversate. And that's like nothing that, well, right now, my mind, like I'm working with my mind to understand, like, this is how we do things. Like, this is what works for my body. We're not, it's just different, like how I learn.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as we say we're going to do the thing, my mind's like, okay, and then doesn't know what to do. Doesn't know how. My body's like, we're going to do it. We're just throwing ourselves into these experiences and then we do it. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Just be in the experience, be in the moment, and you'll do the thing.
Yes. Yep.
If you ask for it and then live your life. pretty much what's been happening.
Say yes when it shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things like things like momentum too. Like momentum, we are looking at momentum in a very different way. It's like in the same vein as of reclamation, where
Mm.
momentum for like any given person outside, just like the world out there, momentum is this. I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at it, but I feel like the connotations of momentum are this like very wounded masculine, like momentum, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So to take something like momentum isn't, it's an energetic and it's
Mm.
so beautiful. And it has been slandered into this wounded masculine momentum energetic. But to investigate it from this feminine lens and like momentum through the feminine is surprising. You know, it's like the things that this wounded masculine lens over here think are going to slow the momentum for the feminine, she needs it actually to go faster, or
Yeah.
like more refined or more in alignment or whatever the thing is. um i've been I've been playing with this phrase that I think that it came from a rowing team that was training for the Olympics, and it's become something that gets used in business. And the phrase is, or the question is this going to make, is this going to make this a faster boat? So like whatever we're doing in our lives and our businesses, is this going to make my boat go faster? And again, in that like wounded paradigm way, we can look at that as a very like speed, efficiency, business, right? But for us, like, is this going to make my boat go faster? That the questions and those answers look a lot different. We're like, we're
Yeah.
working with the fluidity of the water and the current, and it's not always about speed. So like can play with the word faster. But I'm really loving this question. And it's also
Yeah.
like, why am I doing this bullshit? Is it making my boat go faster? No. Fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck it. But I loved that piece that you said about it is you're also playing with the elements outside of the boat, like the awareness of the elements outside of the boat, because that is true too.
Mhm. Yeah, the seasons and the moon cycles,
Yeah,
the
dude,
air.
that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I also love that you brought this in because when you first mentioned it, I think a part of me was like, I failed that momentum test in a coaching program before.
Hmm. Ouch.
um, yeah, but this constant reclamation that we're doing is fucking, this is what I live for.
Making it all.
This is what I live for. Oh, did you pull a card for did a card come out for the inheritance?
Yeah, the kiss.
What? My lover? It's gonna have all the money.
I don't know. I don't know. I also asked for a clarifier on that one. Like, could we get a little backup on this one? And the answer that I got was like, no, this is the card. The what I feel from the kiss is like the the energy of the kiss. That's
Mm,
like
like
to
a
be
sentiment.
God, that like immediately throws me back into like somewhere in high school where you're just like making out. Just like in love and gooey and like full of sparks. There's like so much
Yeah.
excitement and like potential. That's the energy that I feel of the kiss. So like lover, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can feel the energy. Sparks. Ooh,
We're gonna find
sparks.
out.
The sparks card in the alchemy deck. That's what it feels like.
Mm. Mm. Interesting. Um, yeah. I had like one of before I like got into sound and spiritual things. I say that, but I've always been this way. Um, I took this class that like really pulled me out of the dark places, and the instructor, I feel like, could see me in that time, and her name was Sparks. Um,
Mm.
and she had passed. She passed like very tragically. But anyways, I feel like she sparked a lot of things for me. That's just what that reminded me.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe just a check in with her.
Yeah. I don't know if this is true, but Jupiter again. I want to bring back Jupiter again real quick because, like, I when that happened, I saw this star, and it was Jupiter. I found out that it was Jupiter, and that kind of brought me to this place where I found sound, and the place was named Jupiter. I don't know. Am I gonna live in Colorado? I don't know. Okay, stop asking so many questions. Got it. Just relax. Got it. of going into this wild stream and trying to figure it out.
Yeah. The
Mm.
answer, like almost
Interesting.
resoundingly, the answer that I get from my guides when I get all strung up and like I need to know the thing is play.
Yeah.
Just play.
Yeah.
Just play. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay, I will. I got serious again. Yep.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out the universe.
It's a secret.
Fine. You're right. Oh,
Very beautiful.
yeah.
I got a jet. This was
Okay.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send you
When
these.
I see you again, I'll be home. I'll be
Yeah.
back on the mainland.
When do you leave?
Why?
When's your flight?
Uh, the 21st here. So 20th there. Is that Saturday? It's Sunday for me, I think.
Sometimes I write notes and I'm like, who wrote that note? Like,
Yeah,
it was not me.
I have a lot of those.
Okay. I love you.
Okay. Love you.